Happy birthday. Pisces. I welcome myself back with the new tarot deck, the New York Tarot deck. Today, with the energy of the Hermit, high above the busy street along a repulsed railway, the High Line offers a forested enclave of indigenous plant life. The Hermit's High Line represents the wooded spaces that await us when we're willing to walk within. While we may be among the millions, we are also always whole unto ourselves, self-regulating biospheres who invent patient inquiry and careful cultivation. In the Hermit card, we're invited to learn who we really are when we're wholly alone. Whenever we work with this card, we're beckoned to go solo in some way. This could be a physical retreat from other humans and external demands, but we don't have to hermit ourselves too high above our everyday lives to experience its benefits. Harnessing its energy could be as simple as a lunch with yourself. Just taking a moment to share a sandwich with the person you are. The Hermit only asks that we find a way back to ourselves, even in the crowd. We have the right to keep our own time, our pacing through life. And when we meet the people we actually are, where we are, we can decide exactly what's needed in this very moment. The Sun Plaza Suite. City living has worn you down. You're burdened with shopping bags. You've spread yourself thin across the five boroughs, and now you're ready to return to the center. The Star is the hotel suite where we repair and reunite our pieces, taking the time to better understand where we begin. Whenever we work with this card, we're invited to restore ourselves by tracing some element of our lives back to its source. This could signal a time of healing where we exfoliate the calluses of accumulated hurts and recover the okay and recover the softer parts beneath that are asking for attention. It could also be a chance to understand the origin points within us, traveling to the source of a problem or a pattern that's been permeating our lives to see how it started. Or it could be a simpler kind of recharge as we take a moment in a busy day to plug into something that renews our spirit, reviving a past passion and reigniting our resilience. Whenever it finds us, the star. Uh, how come I didn't know that? The sun, Central Park. Some of the city's tourist locales seem so blatantly obvious that they make real New Yorkers balk. Yet, while searching out the city's insider secrets can be satisfying, it's what you see, is what you getness is also part of its charm. And when you embrace the just isness of something as simple as a saunter through this most iconic of parks, you find that this town can actually inspire trust in yourself. A break in the clouds of complexity, the sun invites us to step straight into its honest truth without second guessing. Whenever we work with this card, we're being asked to get realer, to drop the fancy explanation in favor of simpler solutions, and to be authentic as possible. Maybe this card is highlighting a relationship where you endlessly overanalyze and have forgotten how to actually be with your partner, or it brings to mind a comment that you anxiously spun into a huge problem instead of recognizing that it was meant exactly as it was said. The sun can also reveal where we may be justifying instead of just calling it, making excuses for behavior, or lingering in the layers that keep us from living life as it is. Judgment, Manhattan Hedge. You're standing on a street corner and suddenly the forces align. The sun's tilt matches the city's grid, and the concrete canyons flood you with light. Awake to the entirety, you sense that your little life is also part of something more huge and holy. Like a eulogy that happens while we're still alive, judgment offers each one of us its mighty mercy. It asks us to find forgiveness for all of our human efforts and to summon the courage to collaborate with our own continued evolution. When we work with this card, its monolithic meaning might seem hard to access on a everyday basis, and this is for good reason, as this archetype wants us to scale up, opening to the larger forces of nature that powers through us. Like the tower's fiery force, judgment asks us to make love to the magnetics of life. This might mean reckoning with a pattern of behavior or form of partnership that's already pushing its way out of our lives. We might keep going through the motions for a while, but it just won't feel the same. Or it could mean making peace with a part of our lives that we won't ever be able to fix fully. By giving up the fight, we might actually give ourselves the grace to go onward rather than rendering us weak. When we find forgiveness for the natural fault lines of our lives, accepting what might never shift, and rising to meet what absolutely must move, we grow even larger, at peace with the entirety of our lives. We're now ready to evolve into our most powerful form yet. Happy birthday, Pisces. Thursday, the day of the reality masters. You're magnetic, capable, worldly self unaware, demanding, emotionally chaotic. Meditation. Necessity is a relative term. Necessity is a relative term. Personality. Those born on February 27th are extremely insightful into the workings of the world around them. They spend a great deal of energy coming to understand the basic elements of everyday life, how things work, why people act the way they do, how to work with to advantage with the environment. But this is only the beginning. From this solid reality base, February 27th, people allowed their questioning spirits to explore outward to social, international, and universal spheres as well, because they build solidly at each step of the way. They can confidently count on the wisdom they have culled from experience to see them through new and perhaps increasingly ambitious endeavors. Advice: bring your mastery over your environment to bear on yourself. Follow your spiritual path wherever it takes you, but be kind to those you meet on the way. Tend to your own personal business and don't get sidetracked. Health. Those born on February 27th often know a surprising amount about health, even though they may have no formal training. However, they periodically forget everything they know and personally go off in an entirely unhealthy direction. Having benefit of a medical or alternative health authority whom they trust is crucial to their well-being. Vigorous physical exercise is recommended for those born on this day. Running, aerobics, gymnastic, weightlifting, rock climbing, ocean swimming, as well as contentment with a steady partner. February 27th, people are prone to both alcohol and sex and love addictions, so they must develop the willpower to keep their turbulent natures under control. Numerology. Those born on the 27th of the month are ruled by the number 9. 2 plus 7 equals 9, and by the planet Mars. The number 9 is a powerful in its influence on other numbers. Any number added to 9 yields that number, e.g., 5 plus 9 equals 14, 4 plus 1 equals 5, and any number multiplied by 9 yields a 9, e.g., 19 times 5 equals 45, 4 plus 5 equals 9, and February 27 people are similarly able to influence those around them. The planet Mars is forceful and aggressive. The combination of Mars with Neptune, ruler of Pisces, can grant February 27th people almost hypnotic power over the minds of others. So the archetype. The ninth card of the major arcana is the Hermit, who is usually depicted walking with a lantern and a stick. He represents meditation, isolation, and quietude. The Hermit also signifies crystallized wisdom and ultimate discipline. He is a taskmaster who motivates by conscience and guides others to their path. This card points the way to the sort of spiritual development which February 27th people should pursue. The positive indications of this card are stick to itiveness, purpose, profundity, and concentration. The negative qualities include dogmatism, intolerance, mistrust, and discouragement. Reading in the dark. Happy birthday, Pisces. If you have a February 27th birthday, you are kind hearted and humble. You are understanding and compassionate. The zodiac sign for the 27th of February is Pisces. You are affectionate and easygoing. This list of admirable qualities is long. You are everyone's favorite. However, you are affected by your surroundings, which can influence your moods. This is not necessarily life threatening, but you should not let your environment control you. Born on February 27th, you're understanding, intuitive, positive, loving, grumpy, humble, and patient. Happy birthday, Pisces, the fish. Those of you born on February 27th should always be in control. You are capable, Pisces, of dealing with conditions that seem troubling to you. According to your birthday horoscope profile, your submissive nature concerns your friends and family. While you are hopeful and helpful to others, you are inclined to think your problems will magically disappear. Life will pass you by doing so, and the result will be something less than desirable. Pisceans need to rethink ways in which to handle your issues. With the ability to handle your own emotions, you will relieve yourself of a lot of stress and tensions. February 27th, people will have the desire to eat their problems away. It will not work, Pisces. You put yourself more at risk for other issues you will not want to deal with. The Pisces birthday astrology shows that of some of you born on this day, suffer from poor health. Issues with your stomach are likely to occur. As they age, Pisceans are susceptible to slip and falls that could result in injury. You must protect yourself against fractures, poor blood circulations, and heart problems. February 27th birthday Pisceans will have a positive outlook on life. You have lots of interests or hobbies. This keeps you active outside of your professional life. You like to stay active, and you can become an impatient Pisces when bored. You need to do something new all the time. What your birthday says about you is that your drive to succeed in life is strong, and so is your self confidence in your career. You can be pretty much whatever you desire. Your birthday personality shows that you are talented in communicating and organizing. You take money matters very seriously and would do well in those areas of accounting or consulting. The birthday meaning for February 27th is that the gifted Piscean will have a passion and understanding for humanitarian efforts. Those born on this day will do well in professions such as teaching or advertising. You could even invent your job description and title, as you can do many jobs and communicate. As a journalist, you could write noteworthy news articles. Similarly, you could also write for musical talents and could hear your songs played on the radio one day. February 27th birthday Pisces, your intuition and imagination fulfills your basic needs to escape mentally. More often than not, you are quite comfortable being in your space and time. This tends to take a few burdens off your shoulders and lift your spirits. Otherwise, you may find yourself, Pisces, on a road trip by train. Just the ride alone could clear some cobwebs and make room for discoveries. Another ideal is a trip to the amusement park. Those born on this day love to explore and see unusual things. Let's discuss your love life. You have a hard time with limitations being placed on you. Pisces, your passionate, charming, dreamy qualities give you a break you need to stay in touch with your romantic nature. You put so much effort in wooing someone that you could set yourself up for an emotional low. When things don't go as planned, you become moody. Those of you who are with birthday on February 27th are looking for a more realistic approach to romance than spoiling your dates with outlandish um, rendezvous. If today, February 27th, is your birthday, you are compassionate, charming, and somewhat submissive. You do well in the areas of writing and communicating. It would seem that your goal in life is to better others, but somehow you leave yourself out of the equation. You often escape by daydreaming or by eating. February 27th, Pisces. You are a humble but capable Pisces that is influenced by moods. Your birth date means shows that you have an understanding of people and how they work. As a profession, you could be a prominent writer. You take money matters seriously. So, famous people and celebrities born on February 27th: Adam Baldwin, Charles Herbert Best, Dexter Gordon, Ralph Nader, John Steinbeck, Elizabeth Taylor, Rosanda Chili Thomas, Joanne Woodward, and James Worthy. Happy birthday to those above and below. This day that year, February 27th in history. 1563, the Lincoln Cathedral presents William Byrd as an organist. In 1803, there was a massive fire in Bombay, India. In 1827, the New Orleans presents its first Mardi Gras celebration. In 1921, Teresa Wild Blanchard wins U.S. female skating competition. In 1935, Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert win Academy Award for It Happened One Night. Okay, gonna have to see if I can find that movie. It Happened One Night. February 27th, verdict moon sign is mean washi. I will not go into that tonight. I'm going to try to make these for earlier recordings. However, the Chinese zodiac, the rabbit, I will go into. The Chinese zodiac rabbit is aware of their motivations, feelings, and movements. But sometimes they question their behaviors in social situations. They know they have conducted themselves to the best of their ability, but are never quite certain if that means they behaved correctly. The Chinese rabbit tends towards introversion, finding himself content in the quieter, lonely moments that come his way. Rabbits are touchy. It's not hard to hurt their feelings, but you may never know, as they'll bury that away. The rabbit sign is a creature of order, and this order will set them completely ill at ease. It is a harmony that is at a rabbit's heart. For all their tender heartedness, all they want is to be loved and accepted, even while maintaining themselves in a place of seclusion. The Chinese zodiac rabbit sign's strength is a keen awareness of their inner self. Time spent in seclusion contemplating their motivations is important to Rabbit. He tends outward, control. What a rabbit feels is their business, and what lies beneath is deeply private. This follows allows them to appear calm and collected, even when they're feeling anything but that. The rabbit characteristic shows that they know when to speak and when to withhold speech. They never bother to speak when what they have to say is not worthwhile. Rabbits are deeply focused on self improvement and thus will pursue perfection in all things in their lives. The most comforting thing about the rabbit is that their honesty is beyond question. Deception is simply not in their nature. Their analytical nature doesn't stop them with themselves. He can turn that to others and is adept at dissecting their nature. Some of rabbit signs' best assets, when turned on their head, are some of their greatest weaknesses. Rabbits are timid around other people while caring deeply about what they think. Their innate sensitivity makes them easily hurt, while their retention of their emotions keep them from letting others know they've been hurt. The rabbit man or rabbit woman enjoys living in the safety of his home, but this can lead to him becoming a hermit, secluding himself from the world. They are staunchly honest, but this also means they are incapable of even the gentlest of deception. Their analytical nature, unfortunately, can lead them to becoming disillusioned about human nature and embittered about those they associate with. The Chinese rabbit zodiac sign is a diligent worker, careful in all their endeavors, provided their deep need for freedom is met. They are capable of being amazing producers in the workplace, but he must have his security and be his boss. His concern over his sense of security leaves him unable to cope with being under another's thumb. The rabbit wants a secure office with a comfortable workplace, not adventure or travel. It is important to know that a rabbit is primarily concerned with their security and welfare, and this can stand in the way of their sense of altruism. Rabbit as a boss is going to be an excellent leader if you are seeking solid and secure income. He doesn't take unnecessary chances but will take what seems like odd directions that turn out magnificently for him. He has that sense for buried riches, for finding the value in things that others can't quite see the point of. The Chinese rabbit as a boss will broker deals with ease. His diplomatic abilities are beyond reproach. He is well-mannered, gracious, and persuasive, seeing his way through to a mutually agreeable decision where others were left unable to reach an accord. The Chinese horoscope sign rabbit as a co-worker who can be touchy can work in conjunction with others and will gladly negotiate out divisions of labor and project plans. His sensitivity to others' emotions and opinions allows him to come to a reasonable accord and to keep the workplace friendly and warm. Their major failing can be a sort of timidity, which, if not overcome, can lead to a decided difficulty in taking advantage of opportunities. In Chinese astrology, the rabbit prefers to be independent financially, squirreling away money for later days and keeping themselves secure without the assistance of others. No matter how much money a rabbit has packed away, it isn't ever enough. He always wants to make just a little more sure that his security is solidly in place. This can end up being a problem as he can hesitate in putting money to work in the interest of having money put away. In these circumstances, he can wind up being stingy and more than a little over concerned with the bottom line. The Chinese zodiac rabbit is not particularly sentimental. They are deeply in touch with the thoughts and emotions of those around them. They don't immediately fall in love, and this emotion can be quite difficult for them. While dating, the rabbit does not have much tolerance for human flaws in their partner, a direct result of their sometimes over-inflated opinion of themselves. Attempting to seduce a rabbit is a fool's bargain. Their reticence extends itself to having to be the initiating member of a relationship. The big problem for rabbit is that relationships require shared sentimentality, and that speaks against everything that they stand for personally. It offends their sense of decency and certainly their typical reserved nature. The rabbit Chinese sign lacks self-confidence as a rule, and this can create problems with their love relations. Their appetite is copious, but their sense of decency can leave them being a bit prudish. Even if their appetites run deeper, they're too reserved to act on them. Getting through to a rabbit requires them getting through into their emotional burrows. Showing patience and understanding with him or her can get them to open up in this area. His habits tend towards a tender and careful lover, deeply connected with those who shares these intimacies with. He must be. His fragile emotional nature makes it impossible for it to be otherwise. The years of the rabbit. February 19th, 1939 to February 8th, 1940. February 6th, 1951 to January 26th, 1952. January 25th, 1963 to February 12th, 1964. February 11th, 1975 to January 30th, 1976. January 29th, 1987 to February 16th, 1988. February 16th, 1999 to February 4th, 2000. February 3rd, 2011 to January 22nd, 2012. January 22nd, 2023 to February 9th, 2024. February 9th, 2035 to January 27th, 2036. Your ruling planet is Neptune, which represents dreams, wisdom, and spirituality. Your ruling planet is Neptune, which represents dreams, wisdom, and spirituality. The two fishes is a symbol for the Pisces star sign. Your birthday tarot card is the Hermit. This card symbolizes to be vigilant in your actions and to be careful before trusting others. The Hermit. The meanings and interpretations of this major arcana card in the upright and inverted position, followed by the meditation at the end. In the Middle Ages, the hermit was most often a man of spirituality. They are religious men separated from the world to study the nature of God better. If this Rider-Waite tarot card is in your reading, then solitude is a part of your current position, whether literal or figurative. The lamp of the hermit represents the light of knowledge and enlightenment, but the hermit is always alone, sometimes coming from solitude moving towards. Let me read on so you can know more about this major arcana card and the upright and reverse meaning to the tarot readings. In its upright position, the tarot card represents the positive side of solitude and gained. When the time comes for us to move on to college, it is common for this card to appear. You have the knowledge of your youth to carry with you your recent diploma and are moving forward into a new place. Whatever the case, the hermit upright represents all the good of solitude. You have completed a healthy time in the past events of hermit or are just departing it. This period has been a time of self-reflection and growth that can only occur when we are free to examine our thoughts. This time is passing now through, and it is time for you to return to the world. The present events. I don't know, right? I don't know. Okay. You are currently in the time of solitude. Use it wisely. Use it wisely. It is bound to continue for some time, and you should use this time to reflect upon your present circumstances. There is growth to be had and time to advance and grow, but it would help if you learned from where you've been, and now is the time for that. The future events. This card can be a positive omen for those who are in a bad situation. It often turns up in a tarot readings of abused men and women who have finally seen how things are and are moving to protect themselves. In any case, it represents that you will soon be entering a period of beneficial solitude. You may not desire it, but it will be a needed time for you. In reverse, in enforced solitude against one's will, there are many ways this can come about. from incarceration to a move to a place away from friends and family. It will be a difficult time and no doubt sorrowful, as loneliness often accompanies enforced solitude. The inverted hermit can also represent willful ignorance, not just a lack of knowledge, but a choice to correct that situation. Past events. You have been in a period of enforced solitude and ignorance. This time has neither been productive nor beneficial, but it is passing now. You are in a place now to choose to end this isolation. You may set yourself free at this time. Present events. Your current circumstances are lonely and isolated, either from people or from knowledge. Someone in your life is likely enforcing this, keeping you ignorant, or you are choosing to be in your current circumstances. Now is the time to take those steps to change this fact. Look for the keys out of yourself. They are at hand. The future events. Beware, traveler. Ignorance and isolation are in your future if you aren't careful. If you keep your head about you and watch the road ahead, you can avoid this situation. And avoid it you should if at all possible. If not, you should make the best of your current circumstances and enjoy it while you can. A time of sorrowful loneliness is ahead. So the associated colors are gray for contemplation. For your meditation, for the Hermit card in the upright position. This tarot meditation on the Hermit card will focus on solitude and meditation. It is the contemplation of gained wisdom in a period of respite before we set forth over the seas of life. Lay your gray cloth out with its matching candle and place the card upright upon it. And as you slip into the meditation, you will be overcome with a profound sense of peace, a knowledge that you know your place in the world fills you. As you go down, you will hear the sounds of a clear spring day outside, birds singing, and the soft sigh of the wind through the trees. Your inner eyes flutter open to see yourself inside a modestly appointed space, a soft bed, a simple lantern, and a jut out from the wall serve as a table. It takes only a moment for you to identify that you are within the hollow of a tree. The shape of the opening bears the unmistakable shape of every human's point of origin. About you are the marks of a life spent in quiet contemplation, the observation of life from an outside perspective, or perhaps the living of life from the inside, without the need for outer things to justify it. Step inside, mimicking each day as the birth into life, and find that the ancient oak you call home is situated next to a small pond where mosquitoes buzz overhead. You take a moment to contemplate the simple life of animals, secure in their knowledge and moving forth from one moment to the next, blissfully free of the meaningless wants of us humans. And yet you recognize that the ability to have those wants is what makes us human, and all things must be done in reasonable measure. You sit alongside the lake, thinking to yourself that this time is a time for you to study. This is the time for you to learn and absorb the knowledge that your life before you brought you. And you are whole and without the need of others, without the need to validate your existence by others. You recognize that it may be time to return to the world, but there is no rush. The world will be there. For now, you must complete this study of self, this examination of priorities, and prepare for your next step in the world. As you come out of the tarot meditation, think about the lone contemplative hermit lessons. In this glimpse of his quiet, contemplative life, record it in your journal if you have found something of value. Think about the benefits of solitude and if you may be well served by time spent alone. The associated colors are gray for loneliness and isolation. For the meditation for the hermit in reverse. The tarot meditation of the reverse hermit is a painful and perilous place to be. It represents enforced isolation, willful or forced ignorance, and sorrow and loneliness. Prepare yourself for this journey, for it is to be a dark one, perhaps even as dark as the path of the lovers reverse. Lay your gray cloth with its candle placed at its top, and the hermit reverse placed in front of you. As you begin to slip into the meditation, feel the departure of all you loved and cared for. The touch and warmth of a life of love and learning, or friends and companions fade away as you slip into the shackled mind. Your eyes open to the dim light of a cell. Light flitters, filters in through the bars of the window, but the walls are bare, dripping stone. There are others near you, in their cells, but they do not seem to recognize your presence. They do not respond to speech or prodding, turning away from you at the slightest provocation. As you wander through the halls of this prison, you find that all is the same. You find your way into a library, and you find there is a librarian. As you ask for a book to read, you find them all empty, not a word on their pages. Should you ask questions, none of them are answered, and in all cases, no one will speak to you or respond to you at all beyond the silent librarians handing out wordless books. You realize you are utterly alone here, and there is no door. You can find no way out, no exit. Even the windows are covered with frosted glass. You have no way to know if there is a world outside these walls. The prison, you realize, is that of your mind. The only way to break the bars, to free yourself, is to know that you can be free, to accept it as truth. These are the keys that will bring down your prison. It's up to you to make that choice. As you come out of the tarot meditation of this major arcana card, think about this solitude and loneliness. Think about how our ignorance is so often of our own doing. Think on your journeys through the cells and see what messages are there for you to lead your way out of the darkness. Record them in your journal for your meditations and work to free yourself from what bonds hold you. The next two cards are from the Minor Arcana cards. They are the Eight of Cups and the King of Cups. You slip away down an alley into a crowd, anonymous for a moment, losing the hard edges of yourself and telling no one of your whereabouts. You disappear to reappear, reformed. The eights of the tarot message, the places in us that have grown taut and tenderize us towards more options. In the feeling based cup suit, this eight is our emotional envelope and elopement. It's a chance to engage in a little bit of good ghosting from life, disappearing out the back door of a pattern, project, or relationship. This could mean turning away from something that seems good on paper but isn't fulfilling a deeper soul calling, or remaining physically present in a situation but retreating energetically. This slippery eight wants us to learn to love ourselves through loosening, going walkabout, to relocate who and where we really are in our own hearts. What am I being called to fade out from right now? And how can I slip away? Street signs. Notice all the moments of loosening in your life, whether it's parting ways with a friend, watching the sun sink, or undoing your shoelaces. In New York City, duck into an art house film matinee or watch Manhattan receding while riding the Staten Island ferry. The King of Cups. The South Street Seaport. Welcoming whatever piece of Fulton Street fishes sails into our port. The King of Cups can hold all of our oceanic emotion and then some. Each king is a landing spot for our largeness, and in the watery cups suit our feelings find their most expansive home. We might arrive in this card's energy overwhelmed by our own or another's supersized sensations that seem to be flooding our lives. But rather than getting sloshed out to sea, this king wants us to create a haven for humanness here on land, letting each emotion that arrives increase our capacity for empathy. What wants empathy in this moment? How could I become more human? People watching. Quietly listen to another person's story without feeling like you have to respond to, sort, or fix things. In New York City, embrace your role as a benevolent beacon with a trip to the Little Red Lighthouse or volunteer at a community based organization. Your birthday compatibility. You are most compatible with the people born under the zodiac sign Leo. This can be a very romantic and loving couple. You are incompatible with people born under the zodiac sign Aquarius. This is a good match if you can deal with the problems. Your lucky numbers are 2 and 9. Hey, good night. Number 2, this is the number of intuition, diplomacy, feelings, and cooperation. Number 9, this is the number that signifies unconditional giving, helping others selflessly, and being artistic. Your lucky colors are turquoise and red. Turquoise is a crisp and refreshing color that symbolizes energy, wisdom, sophistication, and intuition. Red, this is a color of action, passion, determination, and aggression. Your lucky days for February 27th are Thursday and Tuesday. Thursday, this is a day of planet Jupiter, which signifies abundance, benefits, happiness, and positivity. Tuesday, this is a day of the planet Mars, which represents impulse, competition, confusion, and endeavors. Your gemstone is aquamarine, which symbolizes communication, removes fear, and makes you courageous. Your ideal zodiac birthday gift for people born on February 27th. A sponsored ocean vacation for the woman and a DSLR camera for the man. The February 27th birthday horoscope predicts that you love to explore the world. I am she, Shimsis Vanvant Atun, the mistress of Atun, aka Shavanda, the high priestess. Happy birthday, Pisces.